Again, not gonna lie to you, it's not a ton of positives. Be just straight and honest. Like I told the guys in the locker room.
Well, good morning, Thomas, and thanks for joining us here on ESPN 1000 after arriving early in the morning and ample time on 3.5 hours to gorge into the tape, right? What were some of your takeaways, some of the things that you felt were worthy of writing notes on?
Yeah, like I said yesterday, definitely wasn't good enough by any of us. Started with me first. Obviously, I think the preparation process was good throughout the week. I thought the guys were engaged. We had really good juice and energy, but we didn't play well enough. So it starts first with us doing a really good job of giving our guys more clarity and trying to find ways to start games faster. Having some more dialogue about personnel packages on both sides of the ball to get the guys in the right spots at the right time to can affect the game in a positive manner. We did make some progress in certain areas when it comes to the penalty issues, which we've kind of played this before in the past, so being a more disciplined football team. But when it comes to defensively, way too many explosives, and also on offense, we didn't create nearly enough. And so when we start the game, having 3 and outs, not being able to convert on third down, got to stay on the grass and be effective.
You know, it's interesting because when you talk about practice and almost to a man, those guys in the locker room last night, said, hey, they had a great week. I mean, things were popping. Sometimes it doesn't carry over to Sundays, and I guess that's where you dig deeper in to find out why, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, we're obviously judged by game day. This is a results-driven business. We're all kind of hunting up and seeking the same results. So one thing we're not going to do is start abandoning ship and try to start all over again and do something different. I think that's kind of a bad thought process to have when it comes to how you approach your process. It's just trying to find those little tweaks to give us an opportunity to play better on game day.
All right, let's dig in a little bit. As it starts to get away from you early, 24-0, what's going through your mind on the sidelines? How are you operating? How are you trying to work them out of this?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just talking about trying to find solutions on both sides of the ball. I think special teams was pretty good for the most part. But also keeping our guys calm, keeping them poised. We've been resilient throughout the entire year. We've had some scenarios where we had to kind of battle back into games, which is not where you want to be, but at least we have that experience behind us. But it's truly just try to take it one play at a time, try to create a spark to kind of get things going.
This is a crazy question maybe, but because it's happened all but once this year, falling behind early, does a team somehow fall into that rut? And sometimes they expect it, and then here comes the rally, here comes the resolve?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. I think the psychological process is probably part of it. I think when it comes to how our brains are wired, kind of what you're accustomed to, you kind of get used to some things being a certain way. But our conversation all week was the same about doing the opposite, about being able to get ahead, to get a lead, to stay in that and kind of build upon it. But we'll continue to try to find solutions going forward.
I know it's always challenging, especially for fans and analysts, to find positives in something like this. But what were some of your positives?
Yeah, again, I think just the response from the guys in the locker room at halftime, even on the sideline, there was no fighting in the game as far as the frustration part of it. But I think also trying to find ways to come out in the second half, get things going. I got some things going offensively a little bit to create some explosive, get in the end zone a couple of times. But again, not gonna lie to you, it's not a ton of positives. Be just straightforward and honest. Like I told the guys in the locker room, I'm not a BSer, so I'm gonna call it like it is. We got to find ways to play better, get a better result.
All right, you've experienced the Kyle Shanahan attack in your career. Obviously, you're not a defensive mind, but it seems as if this guy's got answers to a lot of the tests, right? So did he pull anything out that you did not expect as a football team offensively?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I just think they do a really good job of mastering the skies. Obviously, for him on the offensive side of the ball, the pre-snap shifted motions to kind of undress coverage and also pressure tails to get him into the right looks. Obviously, put a ton on the quarterback to be able to handle some checks around the scrimmage, which obviously gets those guys into the premier look, whether it be run, play action, keepers, or screens as well. And did a good job of kind of mixing those things up. Again, we had to do a better job of staying on cue, knocking them out of normal D&D, so kind of have to make them get back on second and longs, so get them in third and longs. And then for us on offense, they kind of mix some things up on third down. They kind of show a little bit more man in the past. We had kind of done a really good job in previous weeks of having some man answers. So they kind of disguised some man, played some zone. But the biggest issue was just first and second down, not having success. I think being able to be more efficient with the run game and stay balanced. Also try to find ways to create explosive on early down so we can stay out of third and 7 pluses.
I really liked that first drive of the third quarter, and I think I brought it up in our post-game interview on ESPN after the game. The first run, Swift, laid the hammer. I mean, it sounded like, okay, maybe these guys are going to really put a whipping on in the second half, and that was a 16-play drive. Those are hard drives. Defenses, they want to make you bleed, so you turn it over eventually. But what would you think of Caleb and that offense on that 16-play drive?
Yeah, I guess it's really good response come out of halftime. Again, we've kind of made a habit of doing that, which is a good thing. What I've kind of told him and told the entire offense and the whole team as well is we got to try to find ways to start the game exactly that way. So I think 16 play drives are awesome. Those are hard to sustain in the NFL basis. So again, it's about trying to find ways to create explosives, whether it be on the ground or through the air. But again, I think him Swift being able to set the tone as far as the physical approach. They play behind his pass. We obviously have some space created up front, which is a big part of any running back having success, and we have to play off of that for the rest of the drive.
When through your experience about slow starts in your career, if you've experienced those for any duration in your pro or college career, what have been some of the answers as to how to fix it?
Yeah, I mean, I just look at myself first to try to figure out from a sequence standpoint what play that can get our guys into a better rhythm. I think I've kind of mixed it up some as far as how the opening calls go. Mixing in some play action pass. We do a play action pass on the first play last week against Detroit. We had a kind of a zone read concept today, not today, but yesterday in the first game, first play of the game. I think being able to understand how to sell our guys in, but obviously get into a better rhythm on that first couple drives.
Can you break down the 2 touchdown throws to Roma Dunze and how he and Caleb are really in connection?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, obviously, those two plays kind of just priority designed to kind of go to him as the primary reads. The first one was obviously in the red zone about the 5-yard line, using some pre-snap motion, what we kind of call a Tommy motion of a change of passing shift motion, going from a 2x2 to a 3x1. And he kind of ended up doing a really good job of setting the angle towards the back pylon. Caleb got the ball up and down. Obviously, it's good toe tap by him in the back of the end zone, which has made it clear and obvious. Hey, it's a touchdown. And then the second was kind of it was a coverage-based read. So we had a single high beater to the front side with DJ and Keenan. And then we also had a kind of a 2 high beater with Roman to the boundary. So Roman did a really good job of the sail. He closed space on Fred Warner's outside shoulder, stopped his feet, popped over the top, and Caleb did a really good job of beating the ball to Rome before the safety could show up on the backside.
Are you amazed that a rookie quarterback is on this streak of, and I don't want to create bad juju for it, right? But that's a lot of throws without being swiped. How do you put that into context for us? 255 in a row, it's an NFL record.
Yeah, I mean, just unfortunate. I think sometimes it gets kind of overshadowed because of the result. Again, obviously, the ultimate goal is to win football games. So if we were winning, it'd be probably a bigger deal to everybody else. But again, I make a big deal about it every single week when it comes to him still being aggressive. But he's not like not taking chances. He's still fitting the ball in tight windows. But the understanding of concepts, understanding when to get the ball out on time, but also the accuracy is a big part of that. And also when we give our receivers one-on-one opportunities, those guys do a good job of either guaranteeing the throw for the quarterback or batting the ball down if it gets in harm's way.
You indicated more than once that you're a zero BS guy. So on tape, were there things that made you upset yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of things made me upset. I think the lack of physicality at times. I think the effort was not really in question, but I think we could have been a lot more physical at times. I kind of talked about with our defensive staff about just trying to find a rotation, our group of guys when it comes to known pass down to be able to kind of get more pressure on the quarterback and affect him. We had some busts on both sides of the ball that were kind of uncharacteristic for us. So us being more demanding as a coaching staff to have true clarity in the plan, but also again, it's a collaboration between us and the players. So we coach, they play. They got to do a really good job responding to the information we give them. When we put them in a situation to make plays, they got to go make plays. But I think the biggest thing to me, I didn't mean to cut you off, was just the overall process of how the week was, how we built up to it, and not getting the result was really frustrating for me.
Is there a benefit in playing a team so close like you're going to with Minnesota on Monday night?
Yeah, I think so. I think when it comes to a common opponent, you've obviously had a chance to see what they want to present before. And obviously the first game, we kind of went to overtime, so we kind of saw some of their best stuff. They'll obviously make some adjustments. They've still kind of continued to stay on their role and gotten better since then. So There's some positives, but also negatives. I would say I won't say negatives, but I would say downsides because he had to find some better solutions and answers from the first time. Because what worked in the first game probably won't work in the second game. So it's kind of that chess match between coaches and trying to give our guys the best shot to go have success. But we'll build these guys back up. We'll go back to work, and we'll be ready to roll for Minnesota.
All right. No, we don't talk injuries till middle of the week, but thank you for joining us and good luck with your prep this week.
Thank you very much.